Okay, Ninapop, what is the hardest thing to train people? You said it 1,000 times.
Oh my gosh. The hardest thing to train in people is getting them motivated.
Good morning. What's going on, everybody? So I'm sitting here on my laptop in my lap. I don't know if you can see it. And, when I decided to do this kind of daily experience of me pursuing my desired outcome, like I wanted to do like candid videos, like a real kind of access point view into my life. I wanted to be funny and entertaining and all that. I mean, and hope, by the way. And look, I am no filmmaker by any stretch. I've never done anything like this. Me and my partner just thought it would be fun. Leslie and I thought it would be fun, and we thought it might inspire people. And I've gotten a lot of messages from people saying it has inspired them. Like, one of my favorites is somebody actually said they've been watching these videos and they're now walking twice a day, and that makes me so happy. I want to be a cautionary tale for people. I spent 10 years working super duper hard, which I don't regret, by the way. I have a lot of passion for my work. I enjoy my work, but I put my personal life and personal health, I put it off and I put it at risk. And I want everybody to not do that. Like, you have to find a way to put yourself, and I'm not talking about self-care. I mean, sometimes I talk to clinicians like, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm doing self-care this weekend. Like, I don't mean it as a catchphrase. I mean, like, literally, genuinely a commitment to taking care of yourself. Like, that's my goal. But, to be honest, the past couple of days I've had a hard time, like, being funny and entertaining, and I'm going to try to get back to that. I'm going to try. But man, these damn race issues in the United States, they're tough for me. I mean, and one of the reasons they're tough for me is because, so this past weekend, the President of the United States says these deplorable things about 4 women of color, who happen to be congresswomen, about going back to where they're from, which, by the way, happens to be the United States. 3 of them were born here, and one of them is a citizen. In fact, been a citizen longer than Donald Trump's own life. And it boggles my mind that we have a hard time seeing that these are statements shrouded in privilege and statements shrouded in racism. I function in a field where privilege has been a real issue. Like there are examples all throughout my professional experience, which I'm sure will become relevant throughout this journey. But every person of color gets triggered by these things because it's such a deep, painful issue. And it is so hurtful when it goes unaddressed and it goes unpunished and it goes unacknowledged. In fact, people tell me that white privilege is not an issue. And I'm like, really? How would you guys have handled Barack Obama if he had said these things? I know that it's an issue because I am treated this way in my own field. It is very obvious to me, and it is painful. It is triggering. It is trauma re-triggering. And it's hard. It's hard because we live in such a 24-hour news cycle where you wake up, you turn on the TV and it's there. I open my phone and it's there. You log on to social media and it's there. And it's like, people, we gotta do better, man. Like, we gotta do better. And this journey, part of it is it's about doing better. It's not just about eating right and exercise. It's about being a good, quality, well-rounded human being. Doing right and including treating yourself right. But it's hard. What's happening in the world right now is very, very hard. And it's so hurtful and disrespectful, right? early last year, I'll never forget, man, I got on a very public forum, this guy named Mark Mitchell, who's a long time solution-focused practitioner, wrote an incredibly negative comment about me on a public forum, intending to send that message privately to someone else. He accidentally sent it publicly. And it's funny because I've never talked to this person. I don't know this person at all. But he's able to judge me based upon the perceptions he has of me. And we have to understand that those perceptions are their prejudices. I don't know this guy. He doesn't know me. But where it even got more hurtful is on this public forum, he said, "Oh, I just meant that in a joking way," to which the blame shifts to me, like Elliott should accept this person's mistake that he was just joking. But privately, he was contacting people and telling them that he did mean to send it. It wasn't a joke. It just wasn't intended to go out publicly. But I can't, so on a public forum, I can't say that because publicly he's saying, I was joking. So everybody says Elliott needs to learn how to take a joke. But privately, he's admitting that no, it was an intended insult. It just wasn't intended to go public. And what's more, he sent emails to people, apologizing for the drama it had caused and for the mistake. But the person directly impacted never got an email, never got a direct apology. It is hard to live in this world knowing that the rules are different for you versus everyone else. So I call on you to not just treat yourself well by eating right and exercising, but treat the people around you better. Treat the people around you right. Because it's hard to be good if you're not being good. It's hard. And whenever we see these things going on, it just triggers all those steps. And I have 1,000 stories as examples of how I was treated differently than other people in my field. And every black person I know has 1,000 stories of how they were treated differently. And experiences like this are just triggering. So, sorry to go on this rant this morning before I go, get my client and start my day. But I think it's important that we acknowledge, this is not a journey in the silo of personal health. This is a journey of holistic health, a whole person being a whole person. And that sometimes means treating other people well, acknowledging other people's journeys and acknowledging that other people are relevant. So let's be good to each other and let's be good to ourselves and let's go have a great day. So, today ended up being a good day. The past couple of days I've been really frustrated. Dealing with some of the crazy things going on in the U.S. And it really is hard, really is disheartening. I don't mean to turn this whole project into, Elliott ranting about, race relations or things like that. I want people, but I really want people to experience my life. And I hope the experience is something of an inspiration. And part of it is being a black man in this field, in this culture, in this country. But then, I get to do therapy, man. I get to write about therapy and I get to teach therapy. And today, I saw a couple in my office that was so touching. Well, I'm going to put my window up. I saw a couple in my office that was so touching. I think one of the greatest things about doing solution-focused work is instead of talking about problems, you talk about past successes. And inherently, if you talk about problems, then there is kind of a blame on, if we're going to talk about the problem, we have to talk about the root of the problem, which means we have to talk about the causes of the problem and inherently the role each person played in the relationship and the problem becoming the problem. The great thing, if you followed all that, the great thing about solution-focused work is we just bypass that. We talk about past successes. And in a relationship, that's such a powerful thing, because we end up talking about like how the relationship had been successful in the past, and how the happy moments got created in the past, and that same inherent blame takes place. So like, if we're going to talk about past successes, then we talk about what role each person played in the creation of those past successes. And when you do that with a couple, like, you literally can watch a couple fall back in love, like right in front of your face. Like, you literally see right in front of your face two people who came to your office while struggling develop an affection and an affinity to one another. And this was a couple that's been together like 10 years, kind of a met in college kind of a situation, went into their careers, had some children, and just grew apart to the point where they think this relationship is not going to make it. But in a, short 45-minute, hour-long conversation, whatever it was, they stopped thinking that. They realized, like, oh my gosh, we just, in the conversation about the past and successes, we just have forgotten to keep doing the things that have once made us successful. And if we resume doing those things, then the likelihood is we will resume being successful. And they walk out of your office like so hopeful and so almost excited to like go home and resume their relationship. And it is the most touching and magical thing in the world. And always look for opportunities and examples of inspiration, everyone. Like, it is the coolest thing. And I think that's really the essence of this project here, is like, I want you guys to look at my story, but see an example of success or failure. Like, as yesterday was a real tough day. So see like resilience and strength, and draw on it when it's time for you to take something on. Like, I think that's really the message here, right? Like, we can draw on strengths. We don't have to spend all of our time unpacking and unfolding problems. Like, we can draw on these things, even if they're things that happen to other people. Because sitting and talking to that couple was so uplifting, so inspiring, and I can draw upon it. So now I'm heading to the gym. I'm a little bit late. It's weigh-in day. Yesterday was weigh-in. I weighed myself, but today I'm actually going to weigh myself with the trainer. She doesn't know I did it. I'm not going to tell her that maybe I will, I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to tell her that I gained a couple of pounds yesterday, and we'll just see if maybe it was like water weight from sitting in a U-Haul for 16 hours and then the very next day flying for 4 hours. I did notice my legs had swollen a little bit, which is to be expected. So who knows? Maybe I had a good, clean day of eating. Had a nice workout last night, so maybe I'm back to normal. We'll see. But anyway, be an inspiration. Let yourself be inspired. And I'll see you in a bit. Yeah. Made it. Oh, back at the gym. It's like 1 a.m. How could I forget this? But I gotta go get it. You see this face? This is what tired looks like. So it's about 2 a.m. I just got back from the gym, picking up my workout bands that I'm going to bring with me on the road. So like, this is the point where I would normally fail. So I work out when I'm in town, doing really good, eating well, and then I have a trip coming up. And you might plan to work out, but you go to a hotel and the gym is either not sufficient or out of order. The room that you're staying in is like one of those very small European rooms, and it's super hard to like get it together. And then I'm like, well, I'll just go eat or I'll just go back to the gym when I get home. and then I don't eat terribly well on the week or 2-week trip, and I come home and all my things are shot. Like, this is where failure happens. So I wasn't going to use the fact that I didn't have any workout bands as an excuse this time. I went and bought some. I wasn't going to use the fact that I forgot them at the gym. I brought them to the gym so I could show them to somebody, and I forgot them at the gym. That's not going to be an excuse. From now on, I'm going to find an excuse to keep going. Find an excuse to keep carrying on. Find an excuse to keep putting one foot in front of the other. So for now, I'm going to go to bed, but fist bump.